has a story. Everyone has been through something that has changed them. So, never judge a person by the chapter you walked in on.
This is it? Let me give you one piece of advice. Be honest. He knows more than you can imagine.
At last. Neo. Welcome. My name is Gromius. Please, sit down. You're probably wondering why you're here. You are here because you grow something. What you grow, you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with your garden. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Do you know what I'm talking about? Unfortunately, no one can be told what Stash Blend truly is. You have to experience it for yourself. It's a formula, a blend of beneficial bacteria, silica, seaweed, and humic acid, and much, much more, designed to unlock the full potential of your plants, to open your eyes to what's truly possible.
What truth?
By truth, I mean beneficial bacteria, silica, seaweed, humic acid, and a host of other powerful nutrients. Together, they create Stash Blend, the ultimate additive for explosive growth and unparalleled quality.
So it's like fertilizer?
No, Neo. Stash Blend isn't just fertilizer. It's a revolution. It builds stronger roots, boosts nutrition uptake, and gives your plants the resilience to fight pests and stress. Like every other grower, you've been born into a system of outdated methods and subpar results. A prison of weak yields and mediocre quality. A prison you cannot see, smell, or touch. A prison for your plant's full potential.
So if I use it,
If you use it, your plants will no longer be confined by the limitations of conventional growing. They will thrive with stronger roots, greener leaves, and abundant buds. You'll see the world as it truly is, one where your garden flourishes beyond imagination.
I want to see it.
Choose one, feed your plants, and welcome to the Grow Trace.
So tough, and I'm gonna take you traveling the world. I'm gonna love you, babe. Cross my heart and hope to die.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. What is up? It's time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Tea with P, the first show back. Turn him down a bit. First show back after the brand new year. Him. There we go. Yeah, just a little. We got a live show going, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it feels so good to be here. So good to be here. I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are warm. Kicking it fly today, baby, because it's time for a little tea with P, where the T is beer and the P is me, baby. And we're here to talk about all things nudes, culture, science, health, you name it. Nothing is off the table. Before we get started, huge shout out to the band, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, ooh. Huge shout out to DJ Lewis Steele, baby. Man.
Oh, it's in the house.
Let's go. Let's go.
How y'all doing?
You got that shit.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Huge shout out to appreciate you, man. Huge shout out to DJ Lewis Steele. Make sure you go and follow him at DJ, turn him down, Lewis Steele over on Twitch and YouTube. There we go. There we go. Mrs. P on the P's and Q's. First show back. She's sweating like you wouldn't believe right now because we've got ourselves a big show tonight and we're changing things up. Good to see you guys, man. Welcome back. Mrs. P, how you doing? You're muted. Perfect. She knew it.
Stress the hell out, but I'm good.
Good. You're about as loud as I am. That's pretty fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. How is my volume, ladies and gentlemen? I feel like I'm just a touch quiet. We might have to lower that gain that we added just a touch. But good to see each and every single one of you guys. I appreciate your faces so much. Welcome back to the very first episode of Tea with P of 2025. Wow. Can't believe we haven't been live for like 2 weeks. It's been it's been a long time, and I'm pretty stoked to be back with you guys. We have missed so much in regards to the nudes. There's people getting high with getting their girlfriends and their pets high without any consent. We've got a donut shop that hates the weed community. People can't grow outdoors while the rest of their country can. Jeez, it is a drama fest out there, and we're going to cover it all and much, much more. At the top of the show, we've got JJ Kitchen from Uptown Grow Labs going to be joining us, and I am stoked for that. JJ Kitchen from Uptown Grow Labs is a huge role model of mine, someone that I've looked up to for a very long time, and to have him on the show, I am absolutely ecstatic for. So, huge shout out to JJ Kitchen from Uptown Grow Labs. We're going to be talking to him at the top of the hour. It's the top of the hour, yes, right, Mrs. P?
Top of the second hour.
At the top of the second hour, we're going to be having ourselves a fantastic conversation with JJ Kitchen from Uptown Grow Labs, baby. One more time, huge shout out to DJ Lewis Steele for throwing on some music at the top of the show. We appreciate him for doing that. Man, that was absolutely epic. How many live shows have live music playing as their intro? Go ahead, I'll wait. baby. Huge shout out to Stash Blend for helping support the show. Huge shout out to you guys, man, for pulling up, man. I appreciate you, dudes. Thank you guys, man. I had an incredible holiday. I had an incredible New Year's Eve or New Year's with friends and fam. It was absolutely spectacular. So, man, it was so fast. But real quick, huge shout out to our patrons, man. Appreciate you guys. Oh, did I add the new one? I sure hope I did. Yeah.
I just checked to make sure it worked. I didn't check the names.
I got it all updated, baby. Thanks to everybody on the screen right now, man. I much appreciate you guys for supporting the show. This is a community-run show, and if it wasn't for you... Oh, I did miss it. Damn it. Huge shout out to AKG Organics and a huge shout out to PNW Homegrown. They were the two latest names to be added to the list, and I missed them. I had it all ready to go, but I didn't add it to the production. So huge shout out to everybody. If you would like to check out patreon.com/pigeons420, you could be looking at private grow classes. You can have your name on the screen. You can help support the show. Look at videos from the past before we got deleted. So much going on and so much more over on patreon.com/pigeons420. But let me see you guys, man. Let me see you guys. Look at you guys. Got you all right here, man. This is where I see your faces. Huge shout out to Mr. CLTV. Good to see you, brother. AKG is in the house. Good to see you, friend. Sacred Smoke. Hello. Mr. Chad Westport. Good evening, sir. Tazarello, you were the first one here, man. Hello and welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, Wes Martin is here too. Shout out Wes Martin. That's my guy. Huge shout out to Wes. Appreciate you, man. Double A's here. Default, good to see you, girl. Appreciate you. Thank you for pulling up. Reginald, what is up, brother? Good to see you. 256 is here. Oh my goodness. Syntax, what's up, brother? Good to see you guys. What are you smoking today, friends? What are you smoking today? That's what I want to know. I've got a little Mac 10 going on in the bowl. We're going to have ourselves a smoke session in just a moment, but I want to know, what are you smoking on, friend? Glyphin, good to see you. Trent is here too. Organically Blunt, what's up? Caniculture, hello. Organics is here, motivated by Terps. Good to see you, friend. Click that button. They earned it. It earned it years ago. Appreciate you, Sacred. We've got a great show in store for you. Looks like Canada could be looking to be the 51st state of Canada. People will be asking what my opinion is about that. I'm going to be touching on that and so much more. But before we do get into that, I think it's only fair that we do a little smoke session, friends. We do a little smoke session, and since we've got live music from shout out DJ Lewis Steele, I figure, you know what? Let's have a smoke session in style. So we're gonna have a smoke session / dance party, baby. So let's just pack the bowl, shall we? Let's go. DJ Lewis Steele's in the house. How you doing, brother?
Yo, I'm doing great. Let's
Good.
this shit, man. I'm ready for this.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, man. Let's read that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Thank you so much.
Fired up.
You smoking? What you smoking? What you smoking on, brother?
Some good shit, man. I don't remember what the kind.
It doesn't matter.
Great shit.
As long as you're high. Good man.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure, bro.
I love it, man. I love it. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
My lighter just died.
You need one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those, right? Cheers. Cheers, guys.
You need one of those.
Yeah. Make sure you go check out DJ Lewis Steele live on Twitch right now. Make sure you go and check him out. Yo, DJ, thanks for spinning your shit, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, brother. Have a great show. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me share with you some of the great things that we've got growing on today. Real quick, a few housekeeping items I wanted to cover. If you didn't know already, we're going to be live tomorrow on the brand new, or not brand new, on the new time, not a new show, but on AAC Infinity channel from the Stash Boys and I on Highly Educational. We're going to be live on Thursday, tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Central. So if you guys are around for that, make sure you check that out. That's on the ACI channel. Huge shout out to ACI. They are a sponsor of the channel as well. If you want to check any of their stuff out, promo code PIGEONS420, save a few dollars off at checkout. Help support the show. And check out, I'm sure you guys saw the thumbnail of Chaboy. That was something. I've got the nice fairy hair, and Mr. Grow It reminds me of the no, the from the Men in Black, the small head when he gets shrunkered.
Oh.
He gets shot and his head goes away and then he comes back and that's what Mr. Grow It's head looks like to me. And it looks like Rob kind of escaped. He looks good on this one. He doesn't look too bad.
But he looks good.
He's confused. He is confused. He's confused as to why his homies look this way. Is what's going on. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about so much tonight and so much in store. So, I hope you guys had a great holiday season. Thank you guys for bearing with me in regards to the time off that we took. I took 2 weeks off from the show and from posting anything, mainly because why not? Get the opportunity to spend time with spend the holidays with family and friends. So that's exactly what I did, and it was very rejuvenating. Shout out to Team USA. Team USA, you won the World Juniors. If you guys didn't know, the world went to the juniors for the International Hockey Federation, and USA takes the gold medal against Finland, my friends. Canada was out early, and it was unfortunate, but yeah, the juniors are something that I watch every single year, so you guys probably... Oh, there's somebody at my door. You guys probably didn't even know that there was a hockey game going on, but there was, and you guys won, so shout out to America.
For the second year in a row.
For the second year in a row. Imagine that. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, there is a ton of things to discuss because we were off for 2 weeks, so... without further ado, should we just jump into the news?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Canna News. All things culture, science, and health. Your one-stop shop for all things Canna News.
So the first thing we have in the news, ladies and gentlemen, is a donut company hates the weed community. Yeah, you heard it here first. It looks like Krispy Kreme doesn't like weed. Supports the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America, known as the CADCA, but doesn't want you to know. Yeah, major brands like the NFL, Krispy Kreme, and several pharmaceutical companies have faced criticism from the cannabis activist community for supporting the non-profit Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America, as it urges people to contact their U.S. senator about the recently filed marijuana legislation. Huge shout out to Rob for bringing this story to me, and with all stories, if you would like to bring something to my attention that you didn't already, or I have that you would like me to talk about, hit me up on X at Pigeons420. You can hit me up there. There's always a good conversation that's going on, whether they're trolling or not. Yeah, you might be able to sift through and find some legitimacy. But Krispy Kreme doesn't want our bottom dollar is really what it is, because if you ask me, best way to kind of voice my opinion is to not spend any money there at all anyways. So yeah, I just think it's crazy. Like, who are you expecting to eat your products if you're coming after the weed community, man? Like, people were coming to get Krispy Kremes as a snack, but you just kind of shot yourself in the foot for that one. So not a good look for Krispy Kreme. Yeah, that sucks. But as I move forward, guys, if there's anything that you guys want to discuss, make sure you mention it not only in the comment section here, but on my X as well, on my Twitter account, so that we don't get left out, because there's a lot of stories. I'm gonna try to race through as many as I can, because there's a ton to talk about. But I'd love to smoke with you again, have some fun, jam out, and relax. Huge shout out to you guys. I see Astro in the chat too, man. Good to see you, man. Brina, what's up? What Willie thinks. Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Next thing I wanted to mention on the docket. Were you gonna say something?
Do we have Krispy Kreme in Canada? Because I've heard of them, but
I don't know.
I don't know that I've ever seen them.
I don't know.
If anybody knows.
Yeah, is Krispy Kreme in Canada? Any of my Canadian friends, are you able to tell me?
Or
Fill me in.
Is Dunkin' Donuts like our equivalent?
Well, Dunkin' is our American invasion. Is that what you mean?
Well, I don't know.
America's pretty much taken over. That's going to be one of our stories coming up. One story I wanted to cover is one that Liger 420 brought to our attention a few days ago, but because I only record this show once a week, I'm kind of late to the parade here. But I wanted to touch on it anyway. This is kind of a story that I have discussed before, but it is one that I think tends to rear its ugly head. So, Liger, as you guys can see, posted a tweet, about Nate 420 and his new video. Let me try this without the hiccups. Nate 420 in his new video drugged his girlfriend and as a prank, and then casually let his dog eat an edible. Someone needs to get that girl and dog away from him, he says. And in these clips, it kind of shows, I don't actually want to show the animal eating the edible, because in my opinion, that's straight up animal abuse. And I really just don't want to highlight it, to be honest with you. The idea here, I'll be straight honest with you. I am far less concerned about a human being I don't. Let me just. What I'm trying to say is, sure, if his girlfriend wants to stay with him, I don't care that his girlfriend got high. I'm more concerned about the dog, because she can sober up and then slap him silly for his actions. The dog can't, and in fact, THC can be quite dangerous for animals, particularly if it's not sourced properly. And there are a number of CBD medications, but it can be quite intoxicating to animals. And I'm sure we all have a story of our animals getting a hold of something and so on and so forth. But I'm sure you've spent some time trying to nurture your pet back to whatever health, or try to supervise it to make sure it didn't happen or get sick and so on and so forth. However, it just kind of shows in this video that he doesn't really give a fuck. He doesn't really give a fuck. He literally feeds his girlfriend a cookie, and she doesn't know that it's an edible. And then the dog just kind of eats one. I just think this kind of shit is ignorant, and I think it's animal abuse. And if his girlfriend wants to stay with him, then I don't care really about her and what she does with her body. But I feel bad for the dog. And I think that any kind of animal control group should be kind of looking into this, because in my opinion, he doesn't really care about his dog. I try not to even get high in the same room. When I'm getting high, I don't even like my dogs in this space, because I just don't want to burden with them. Their senses are just so much more heightened than ours, and to get them intoxicated or to have them around it, I don't feel like that's right, and I think that that's animal abuse. So shame on Nate 420, who has obviously a huge following, because this kind of content. The name of the video was "I Got My Girlfriend High for the First Time." Riveting shit. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Is he the one with 300 and some thousand? He's only got 492 views on that video. Can you Google him for a quick second? Yeah. How many subs does he have? Because 492 views 6 hours ago.
What's his name?
Nate 420. It's just it wouldn't surprise me that he has a huge following.
On YouTube or 369,000 followers.
Yeah, so he's got a huge following. So of course he does, because this is the kind of content that gets you a huge following.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 41.7 on Twitch.
Yeah, crazy. So I'm gonna slip you an edible there and then record you just freaking the fuck out.
You've had to put up with me.
Yeah.
Do you really want to do that to yourself?
No. No, I don't.
Because if so, go right ahead.
No, I don't. But shit's not cool, man. I don't know. You know what? I can sit here and preach on a high horse all day and say, yo, don't get your dogs high, don't get your shit high. I just kind of think it's common sense not to do this shit. But it seems like people who make content online just think differently. And as someone who makes content online, morals and common sense still exist for me. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Just ridiculous news altogether, no matter which way you shape it. But I wanted to have a conversation with you guys, and the responsibility that you have with your smoking and how you treat others in regards to how you exposed them to it. I want to have that conversation right now, because if you guys have been paying attention, or if you guys not necessarily paying attention because you might not even know about this, but there's a video that's kind of going live or doing its rounds right now. And Mrs. P, you actually have this video up as well, so you can switch it to full screen for this so they can actually listen to it. But there's this video right now doing in their rounds of this is who is this? TJ, Lil T, no. Boy,
TJ?
No, it's Boy Q. Who's where's no oh, he didn't pull up his response.
Dextero?
Yeah, Dextero is the response. Okay, you have it. Okay, so go ahead and play the first one, and I just want to kind of get a general feel on how do you guys feel about a video like this.
You want with sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you're playing it, because I can't bring sound to
Okay.
it. Oh, turn up a little bit.
What'd you say? Stop playing song. Who's smoking? Who's smoking? Yo, TJ.
What's up? Who the
Yo, this a B&B. You can't smoke in here. This shit gonna go off.
Oh, this shit.
Yeah. I appreciate you though. But yeah.
Yo, tell say play song we just made.
Yo, bro. Yo, you can't smoke in here. This shit gonna go off. Like, please. I appreciate you. Can you show them where, like, in the back, they cannot smoke it? I'm gonna download it. Yo,
Fucking assholes.
Niggas smoking here. I'm gonna have to say
Assholes.
the stream done.
Slap him.
Y'all to the back. Backyard.
Like there's a backyard.
Oh,
I
Bobby.
appreciate y'all.
Where you going?
No, we're cool.
Alright, bro. Where Uncle?
It's in the back.
Yeah,
Can you show them?
No.
Are they different?
Oh, they leaving? Peace.
All right, brother.
Okay. So, yeah, needless to say, I got to ask you guys, if you had someone in your house that you would ask 3 times to quit smoking weed and they kept smoking weed, what would you do? What would your response be? Because I'm telling you, after this, like, first of all, like, I smoke regularly, but first of all, I would always ask. I would always ask first. Do you smoke in here or do you smoke outside? That's the first thing. That's first. But if I smoked outside and somebody came out and was like, dude, you can't smoke here. You know, I'd be like, well, it is outside. But they're like, yeah, I do. But my girlfriend's window's right here and she sleeps with it open. And what? I'd be like, okay, yeah, of course. My bad. But yeah, you know what I mean? You're at someone else's house. You just respect their castle, man. And I just think somebody like this, just blazing like this, is the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen. And I'm so surprised that he didn't get slapped. That's what I thought he was going to do when he got up and he kind of adjusted his drawers. I thought he was just going to... Because I felt like that's what he deserved. I don't know. Straight ignorant. Daquan... What's his name? The boy? The...
Dextero?
No. On that story, the name is so-and-so responds. It's like Dak Boy. I don't know. I'm not familiar with anyone.
Plaque Boy Max?
That's it. Plaque Boy Max. Yeah, my bad.
On Lil TJ and...
So, yeah, Plaque Boy Max. He's a YouTuber, and, yeah, I guess... Yeah, I just think it's sheer disrespect. And, I just don't think there's any room for it. But what would you do? You slap the son of a bitch or what?
Yeah,
Strange Show.
Handled it well.
Strange Show, what's up? I think he handled it very respectfully, very maturely, and it shows that he's a pretty cool dude, I think. Dude, I don't care that you're smoking, just get the fuck out of here, kind of thing. Yeah, next big story I wanted to cover, guys, is Mark Zuckerberg. What was this, like yesterday? Commented that Instagram and Facebook will now prioritize free speech. Someone asked me, Pigeons, is this gonna do anything for the weed space? And of course, me and my cynicism say, no, unfortunately, it's not. But hear me out on this one. So, it's obvious that since, well, I don't know, the last like 8 years or so, give or take, the media has gone very, very, I'm gonna say biased, but it's always been biased. But they started to fact check, and they tried to be the moderator of speech. That's a great way to put it, actually. And they tried to determine what was going to be acceptable and what was not going to be acceptable. And over the course of the last 8-ish years, you've started to see a lot of speech get censored that tends to lean a little more right of center. And by right of center, I mean a little off mainstream. And now, as the time has gone on, it's proven to be really toxic. The censorship that happens online, the censorship that happens to free speech, the material that makes its way through the algorithm, through major platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Meta as a whole, Twitter. It's all curated. It's all somebody at the top determines what content makes its way through. And having fact checkers, well, particularly biased fact checkers, you were having people get rid of information that they just didn't agree with. Not necessarily that was wrong, but that they didn't agree with. And so I think it's fair to say that Facebook and Instagram have been a large player or actor in that movement. Well, Zuckerberg says that that's not going to happen anymore. They're not going to do that. They're not going to moderate free speech. So they're going to try to move to a community note system similar to X or Twitter. And they're going to try to lean back to free speech. Now, with that ramble said, what does that mean for cannabis? Are we now going to be able to post cannabis freely on Facebook and Instagram? The answer is probably not. I don't think cannabis falls under free speech. I don't feel like our ability to perpetuate the notion of growing weed or smoking weed falls under free speech. Now, of course, you can talk about that shit as free speech, but are they going to allow the content to thrive as it is in its current form? I don't believe so. I don't believe this is really going to do anything. If anything, I feel like our content will just be flagged and or suppressed less, but still face the same repercussions for its existence. So that's kind of my opinion. I'm curious what you guys think in regards to whether or not changing of Meta's free speech approach is going to have an impact on cannabis. I would love for it to be. Instagram, Facebook, these are massive platforms that if even for a moment gave us the opportunity to celebrate our plant, would do extraordinary things for us, because we could create unrestricted, uncensored, just unshackled. That's really what it is, because YouTube hasn't moved. Is it going to move? I don't know. Is it going to do something similar? I don't know. YouTube suppresses content in a much different fashion than Facebook and Meta does. So I don't know. I posed the question off to you. What do you think is going to happen? Good or bad for cannabis in regards to the moves Zuckerberg says Meta is going to take in regards to free speech? What do you think? I'm reading. I'm curious to hear what you think. I think movement in any case is great. But is it going to have an immediate impact, I suppose, would be the question. Strange Show, thanks for being here, man. Says, I don't think it will loosen up anything on cannabis, sadly. Unrelated note, is that logo engraved into the coffee table, or is that a graphic? Very dope either way. I am going to lead you to believe that it is hand-etched by a young family just off the coast of Ecuador. And it was not cheap. But much of what you'll see here on TOP is going to leave you with questions. Okay? Questions that you just might not get answers for, okay? I appreciate you, though, for pulling up, brother. You live? Yo, AB, we are live. Yeah. We are live. We are live. We are live. Whichever you're trying to say, yes. Okay? Big nudes too. Or this isn't as big as I kind of thought. Wanted to bring this up, though, because I wanted to touch on something like this. And this is what I consider, quote unquote, engagement baiting And we'll get more into that the definition in regards to people that are saying things so dramatic just for engagement. Typically it happens online. You see it actually kind of in our space too. People say radical things like stop growing autoflowers or bud washing your weed, you know, these kind of things. And it's really just to like spur up engagement. Is it really factual and is it entirely accurate? I don't know. I know mine is, but what I'm seeing more and more online is this kind of shit. Kai Cenat, the biggest streamer in the world, says this, quote unquote. Oh, actually, you might have to pull this up so I can actually play the stream. Actually, I didn't think about having volume. He says Kai Cenat advises his supporters to stop smoking weed. I just punched you in the face, didn't I? Sorry about that, friends. Sorry about that, friends. I might have scared somebody. That was not on my intention. Saying it makes you dumber, slower, and lazier. And we got the clip for that coming right up here in a sec. And just keep in mind too that oh, I hear music. Yeah, there you go. Getting there close. Keep in mind, this is the largest streamer in the world. The table's got tricks, baby. Yeah, high goodies in there too. Something's picking up. It's the DJ. You have to mute him. Server mute. That's okay. There you go. And then the clip on the other scene. Shout out Mrs. P for running the P's and Q's. We this is the biggest show we've ever done. This is the biggest live stream on the planet. Biggest live stream ever. So yeah, there's a lot of difference. What do you look for? It's in sorry.
Video.
Oh, okay. No, it's in the liked on Twitter. That's what I'm on right now.
That's what I was trying to find, but I.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But essentially, telling his massive following of children, most of them are children, and that's kind of the fact.
How far back?
This is from. I reposted this, so it's not under my likes; it's under my posts on Christmas. That laugh right there is like a you fucking asshole. That's what that right there is like a you're a funny kind of guy. I still love you, but the other one is like.
That's a you told me to look in the wrong
Death to
place
all.
for how long?
Death to all. Hey, yeah. You show it to my wife. Mrs. P is my producer. Huh? You prove
There it is.
We smokers, that man fucking make them slow.
There you go. There you go. That's the one, baby.
That's the one.
All right, let her rip.
If you smoke weed, nigga, fuck that weed, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I know mad weed smokers, that man fucking make them slower. Believe it or not, how about you make this, you do this. At least get some things done, and then to celebrate, smoke the Zaza. Okay? Just get like a certain amount of productive things done, and then be like, you know what, this is my reward. Let me hit the Zaza. Cause when you start looking at life like that, bro, unless you're a great worker while you smoke weed and shit, but like, bro, I know mad niggas.
That's quite the
Tell Snoop
caveat.
Dogg, no, see, this is where you got it wrong. Snoop Dogg is Snoop Dogg already. He did what he had to do. You see, that's your problem. You worried about another nigga instead of worrying about yourself. Snoop Dogg is Snoop Dogg. He's good. If you smoke weed, nigga, fuck that weed, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I know mad weed smokers, that man fucking make them slower. Believe it or not. How about you make...
Oh, that was a yeah.
Sorry, it restarted.
So, needless to say, before I get into this, I want to show you this tweet as well. This is by Myron Gaines. He has some importance. I'm not really sure what it is. He's a host of the Fresh and Fit podcast. Host of the #1 men's podcast. That's not true. I'm the host of the #1 men's podcast. That's fucking crazy. Host of actually 1 and 2. So this guy, Myron Gaines says, and he's quoting on. So Koala Puffs posts this on her Twitter. It's just this kind of like spaceship, kind of like the Jetsons sort of thing in regards to just spitting out weed into a blunt, which is really dope, actually. I'll admit it doesn't actually look like it's ground up at all. It looks like it's just coming out as buds, but whatever. Maybe it doesn't even grind it. Maybe it just dispenses it. But he's commenting on this video, which I'm showing you, and I shouldn't, I guess. Thanks, YouTube. And he says, I have never once met a successful pothead. Changed my mind. It's literally, it's these comments, and I couple this with the same with Kai Sanat's comments as well. It's these comments, they're just trying to bait for comments or for content. They just want people to comment. They just want people to engage. And the best way to do that is to look at a viral post, which, if I may, how many likes or how many? It's 30,000. In my opinion, this is viral. It's got 107,000 likes. It's got 89.4 million views. You know, I would argue that this is pretty viral. And so what are they doing? They're clicking on it. They're engaging with it. And so what does his post get? 10.4 million views. So he just got an eighth of those views. My math sucks, but run with it. So it's like for just making a shit post. They probably doesn't believe this. He might try to argue it on his podcast, but whatever. It's just one of those. It's like the flat earthers. It's like they know they're wrong, but they got to cling on to it, or they look really dumb if they give up on their dumb thought, I guess. And then, of course, there's Yola saying, you were saying? You know, this dude's, look at this. Weed tuber, dope as Yola scores big with Spotify deal. Word of mouth is more powerful than ads. Fucking dope, you know. And, you know, your level of success, I don't think, is always necessarily on how much money you make. You know, I've been working from home by myself, or for myself, for 4 years, coming on 5 years now. To me, that's success. That's success. I get to provide for my family. I get to chase my dreams, and I get to do it with some pretty awesome people. Like, I feel like that's success. That's success. I get to be home at the end of the night for dinner. It's just like, you know, that's success. So, yeah. Not to mention, someone also said, they retweeted that and said, you know, people like, who was it? Gandhi. Not
like
Gandhi.
Cheech and Chong.
Michael Phelps, Cheech and Chong. Yep, very successful. Yeah, there's a ton of examples of very successful people that have smoked weed and you know, lived a great life. So, yeah, engagement baiting. I want you guys to watch out for it. There's things like this that, like, even as a host, I'm gonna use that word loosely, but as like somebody who has a platform and an audience. There are a ton of stories that people refer to as me gatekeeping. They're like, well, why don't you talk about this story or that story? Sometimes I just don't want to give the story any fucking light. I think it's stupid. In the same way, it's like I showed Myron Gaines's, I said his name and showed his shit on my podcast. I don't want to give them light. Why would I want to give them any more light? So yeah, you gotta. I kind of gotta be careful with that. But as with anybody that agrees or sorry, anyone that disagrees with me, that I think cannabis can make you incredibly productive. It can make you incredibly creative. It can make you incredibly able to just handle the other human beings. Lazy people are going to be lazy. Motivated people will find ways to stay motivated. I've found for me, there's times and ways to use weed effectively to boost my productivity. Now, you know, I remember when I was in university, I wouldn't smoke before an exam. If I had an exam, I wouldn't smoke before. I always found that I had to be just completely stone cold sober to do an exam. I would study high. I would go to class blitzed out of my mind. But for some reason, I found that I performed on an exam better when I wasn't high. Why? Because I didn't learn the information when I was going to school. I just memorized it. And short-term memory when I'm high is kind of non-existent. So it's like I learned. You know, I gotta be careful. So it's all about moderation. There's tons of people out there that need to use it before they go to sleep. Successful. They don't use it during the day, or they use it during the day but don't use it before they go to bed. Successful. So there's a multitude of ways to use the product and not overuse it. I feel like if you smoke weed and get lazy, don't use it before you're going to do something. Something that I think is even more addictive than weed, social media. How often have you picked up your phone and you went to go do something and you like scrolled and the next thing you know, 15 minutes has gone by? Dude, 15-minute highs are wicked. You know, the drugs I used to do back in the day, you didn't get 15 minutes. The best high was done in like 90 seconds. So it's like 15-minute highs are great. Social media is the devil. That's the shit we should be focused on. And focusing on weed, nah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But that's my opinion. Come and change my mind. I invite anyone that disagrees with me on the show. If you have somebody that you have in your circle that thinks weed's the devil and they can articulate themselves in a decent manner, I would love to have them on the show. I've Parents Against Pot on this show at least 100 times now to come on and debate their ideas in a free, fair, open setting. I invite anybody to come sit down on the TV and have a conversation with me because that's what it's about. I'm not looking to try to change their mind. I just want to try to see where they're coming from when they have these opinions about this plant that does so much healing and bonding between so many people. I think it's amazing. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think? At me, at Pigeons420 over on X. You're going to see this. Kupachow! Kupachow's over there! I got another story too. One thing I wanted to mention too, before we talk to JJ from Uptown, JJ Kitchen from Uptown Grow Labs, been asked a few questions that I think it's important to answer. The first one is, Pigeons, what about the 51st state? Can the U.S. really take Canada as the 51st state? Well, let's just put it this way. America can do whatever the fuck it wants, and nobody's going to stop them if they truly wanted to take over anyone. So, yes, they could. But second of all, people have been asking, Pigeons, what's your opinion? Do you think Canada should be a part of the United States? My answer is absolutely not. I do not want to be a part of the United States. I love America, but I love Canada even more. Canada is a beautiful country with a ton of natural resources. We do rely on America for a lot of things. However, America also relies on us for a lot of things. We are one of, if not the largest trading partner with America, spending $200 billion plus in trade every year. I don't want to be the 51st state of America. People have been asking, well, but what about free healthcare? No. No. It was this other the Green Party, Elizabeth May, that was saying that other politicians are saying that they're willing to take California and Oregon. Where I don't know which one is it? I had it up just a second ago. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, not interested. I would love to become a citizen. I would consider becoming a citizen of America. But Canada is a beautiful country, and we both need it. Canada does need to hunker down on its borders. 100% it does. It needs to be able to pay up in regards to its bills. 100% it does. And she will. She will. We've seen a transitioning. We're going to see a transitioning government here right away, as I'm sure you guys have noticed. Trudeau stepping down, and we're going to have an election. We're going to end up having an election. Oh, Mrs. P verbally.
I'll say it.
Nope. No, just kidding. Yeah, so Trudeau stepping down. We're going to see a transitioning government here, so we'll probably see things change in some fashion, but there's no way we're going to become an American state. The other thing, one speed topic I wanted to cover was province gathers public input on changes to allow legal home grow canna. So the provincial government in Manitoba is looking for your opinion, And on behalf of my good friend Toba Grown, I want to pass off the information to as many people as I possibly can that the provincial government is seeking public input on a proposed amendment to cannabis regulations that would allow people to legally grow plants at home as soon as April. While federal guidelines allow for up to 4 plants to be grown at a residence at one time, Manitoba and Quebec were the only provinces to ban the practice provincially. The proposed amendment would bring Manitoba in line with federal standard, requiring that growers keep their plants indoors and away from people under the age of 19. It also allows licensed retailers to sell cannabis seeds. So, as you heard right there, they're asking for input in regards to the plants, but they want growers to keep their plants indoors. That, to me, is a no bueno. I'm very surprised that this government would even come up with such a preposterous idea, but they did. And I think it's crazy. Why would we be banning anybody from growing outdoors? Absolutely crazy. You shouldn't need any kind of permission. You shouldn't need a license. You should be able to grow, and that's just the way it is. And unfortunately, they're not going to allow that. And so I'm 100% behind this. And my good friend, actually, let me see. Don't pull this up. I'm going to check my DMs because I have a link for people to sign. Actually, I don't have it here. It's in my phone. He actually texted it to me. That's what it was. For people to sign, and I want to spread the word as much as I can. So,
while he's looking for it, PD Riot 19 is the legal age in some of our provinces. So they've made 19 the legal age because it kind of covers everybody.
Oh, I don't have a fucking link. Oh, all I have is this QR code. Yeah. Anyways. I'll put in the link in the description for the 3 people that'll remember to check it afterwards, and for that one guy that'll actually click on it. But yeah. So I don't understand why the government would allow some part of growing but not others. Let people grow outside. I think it's ridiculous to force people to grow inside. That to me is the most capitalist decision ever. Yeah, of course you have to grow inside, bro. You have to have a tent, you have to have lights, you have to have fans, you have to use your power, you have to use all this stuff, and you have to give in to the system and no. I want to grow it outside, no problem, no effort, with the sun, leave me alone. Full stop. And so yeah. And what were we asking in regards to the...
Oh, PD Riot just said that 19 seemed a little odd. So I was just clarifying that some of our provinces, right, 19 is the legal age of everything.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, in America, in America, 21 is the legal age. And then here it's 18 and 19. So, yeah, 18 and 19.
So I have a question for you on the growing thing.
Me? Go ahead.
To be that person.
Be that person.
Would you be okay with it being the same as prescription growing? Where, like, you have to be so far away from a school, so far away from a daycare, that kind of stuff? But you could grow outside if you were?
No, I don't think... why are we not allowed to grow next to a school or daycare? So the kids don't have access to it?
Solely because of what it is. And you know...
No, I don't see a problem with that. Like,
no, I agree.
I don't think to just give context to that or more, there shouldn't be a dispensary next to a school or a daycare because I don't want kids having that close, being right there. I think that's fair. Schools are typically in residential areas anyways, but that's why you don't have bars next to schools. It just brings the wrong crowd around. So. No, I think you should be able to grow. I think you should be able to grow anywhere, as long as it's on your own property. Yep.
Agreed.
Yep. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Should you be allowed to grow anywhere, or is it? Should there be some restrictions to it? Some restrictions. I'm curious. Curious what you'd think. One quick story too I wanted to mention is Dopaz Yola says that he's going to be. He's got a tweet, and I'll just read his tweet. It says this: 2025. I'm a stop smoking all day, every day. like I always do. My lungs need a slight break. I'm going through 12 to 15 grams of hash a week, 100 to 120 joints a month from my homie's company, grabbing around 7 to 10 zips of flower a month. Let's see how this goes. The reason I think this is important is because, you know, some people will comment on this and like they'll clown on him because, you know, you're not a real smoker, you don't need to do this and whatever. And as I just said in against the other tweet where it's like, you know, if you want to be productive, don't smoke weed. And I say, well, if you're not productive, don't smoke weed. This kind of falls into that. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but it's like you don't have to prove that you smoke weed to anyone. Like, yeah, sure, you did build a brand around it, and yes, that's what your existence has become. But it's like we're not the children that we were when we started this in many cases. And I feel as if as we get older, our bodies change, our priorities change, our ability to handle what we could as a child changes. And I think it's only the right decision to kind of dial back, step up, step back in any kind of sense of the word. We grow as humans. And I think to take the same approach and just apply it through your whole life and hope it's going to work, I think that's kind of crazy. I don't think that's the way to go about things. And I actually respect Yola for kind of understanding his limits and identifying that he needs to give his lungs a break. And I wish him luck. For me, I might hit that kind of milestone. I've kind of smoked the exact same forever, first thing in the morning till the moment I go to bed, over and over again every single day. But you know, that might change. But yeah, I'm also a parent, and I'm married. So I kind of require some alleviation from the stress. But that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I'm curious what your opinion is. Because I often, I sit in this kind of bubble that's down here. I say this all the time, and I mean it. That I sit in a bubble down here, and I kind of sit in an echo chamber. And even though I have my own ideas, my own thoughts, my own beliefs, I like to kind of hear what other people are thinking too, because I like to kind of know what other people kind of want to bring to the table, because it might influence my opinions. And I think it's okay to change your thoughts and change your feelings. And well, that's kind of what I've done on a lot of these topics. In a lot of cases, is people will bring up a point to me, and I'm like, oh, didn't even think about that. So if you have anything that you want to add to anything that I mentioned, head on over to head on over to Twitter or X and hit me up and let me know what you think. I do have the chat always going, and we're going to blaze up real quick before we meet up with JJ and have a wonderful conversation. What are you guys smoking on tonight, my friends? I want to know. Because I'm stoked to sit down with JJ. I saw him in Vegas for the first time, and it was epic. And I'm very thankful that I had that opportunity because, dude, as I mentioned, I'll fanboy now before he's here because it can be uncomfortable at times. I've been watching his content for a very long time, years and years and years and years and years, and he was doing it before me, and I was loving his stuff. So, cheers, friends. This hoot's for the community, not that later. This one. Yo, shout out MV Closet Bed Grower. I see you out there, man. Oh, so, whew. I think it's fair to take our time. Is he here? Is he in waiting?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's before we head off into our meeting, I think it's very important that we take a quick break and a message from these sponsors.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from from this dark, cold hotel room and the endlessness that you fear.
Hi, I'm Pigeons 420. Will you be an angel for an abused plant? Every day, innocent plants are abused, beaten, and neglected, and they're calling for your help. Please visit stashblend.com today and join the nation in helping abused plants get an 8-ounce bag of Stash Blend. That's just $27.70 or 96 cents per day. You'll be helping rescue plants from their abusers and provide nutrition, beneficial bacteria, mycorrhizae, and love. You'll help rescue plants from their abusers. Call or join now, and you'll receive a welcome kit of a photo of a dude impacted by your decision. Order now and change a life.
Don't mind the DJ. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am stoked to jump into a conversation with Mr. J.J. Kitchen from Uptown Grow Labs. So let's run it.
Come on and lift your glass. You've won your own free pass to be our guest. If you're stressed, it's fine dining we suggest. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got J.J. Kitchen from Uptown Grow Labs in the house. Brother, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fantastic. In fact, I'm even going to turn you up just a little bit on the main. Yep. There we go. JJ, how you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. You know, new year, new hope, new whatever. You know.
I feel you on that. Brand new year means brand new things, brand new adventures, bro.
Exactly.
First of all, before we go too far, I want to thank you for being on the show. Mr. J.J. Kitchen from Uptown Grow Labs. I've been a huge fan of yours for a very, very, very long time. And
thanks, bro.
Man, I can't wait to dive into a great conversation with you. But real quick, for the maybe one or two people that don't know who you are, who are you? What are you doing? And just real quick.
I'm the weed geezer. So, I obviously smoke weed. I grow it. I got busted for possession in 1973, probably before most of your audience was born, I'm suspecting. And immediately, about a year after I got pinched, I started growing. So I've been growing cannabis since 1974. I'm a Crohn's patient. I had Crohn's since before I was busted. So I really came to cannabis because of that. Not primarily, but that was one of the reasons, because it helped relieve the symptoms. And also was the cool thing to do if you wanted to be a bit of a rebel when I was coming up.
That's fair.
But, you know, I really took to the plant, and, you know, she was my soulmate. So I've been growing on and off. I took a long break when my kids came along, and because my other half really wasn't feeling the fact that I would be having cannabis plants in the same house where my family lived. So
I get it.
I took a break, and then I got a separate. I used to live in New York City. I lived in New York City for 40 years before I moved out here. I moved out here at the end of 2015, and because weed was legal, that was one of the major reasons. Although New York followed suit not long afterwards. But Uncle Tweezy and I, my grow partner back in New York, we documented our first grow and our first book, and then during the pandemic, I put together a second one. And yeah, I've just been growing and smoking for a long fucking time.
A long fucking time. And arrested, bro. Arrested.
Oh yeah.
Man, and
and this is bear in mind, this is in the I grew up in Michigan, right?
Right.
So I grew up in a place called Grand Rapids, Michigan, and pretty conservative place. And fortunately, I mean, this may sound horrible, but my father was connected to a certain extent because he was a professional in the community. So that definitely helped. And ironically enough, I'm actually allergic to raw cannabis.
No way.
I break out in a rash if I'm in the garden and I'm rubbing my hands or plant matters on my arms. I'll break out if I get something in my mouth. My tongue will start to swell. Are you talking to your producer or me?
Slightly. I was giving her hand signals, giving her the old one, give her the old 1-2. That has to be incredibly frustrating. I was listening to you. That has to be incredibly frustrating, or I'm sure at this point you've kind of learned to cope with it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, I won't lie. I mean, when I lived in New York City, I was there from the late 70s to the mid teens, and the 80s and 90s in Manhattan were pretty fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. So I abused myself in a lot of ways. And I mean, when I moved out here, 6 months after I moved out here, they took out a foot and a half of my colon.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, but I'm here to tell the tale. I lived through 9/11, all that shit. So.
Then yeah, where do I start, man? Where do I start? Okay, so yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. So not only that, you're a father. You've got grown children, and
I do.
Family
Shocking.
man.
Even shocks me.
That's fair. I know
mean,
that.
I think about it. Because when you get older, I'm about 30 years older than you, I think, based on our prior discussion.
Yes.
And, it's weird because in your mind, you still think, oh, yeah, that's back in 80 or 70 or whatever the fuck. And you're like, oh, no, my daughter's like fucking 33 years old. What the fuck? Where did all the time go?
Dude, my boy's 13, and I still do the exact same thing. I look at him. Do you look at your kids at 30 and still see, like, their baby lips?
Well, let me tell you something. So, I was the fifth of 5. But I was a menopause baby. They were not expecting me. They thought my mother was done. So when I was born, she was like 46. My old man was 55, 54, some shit like that. So I was always the baby. So, even when I was, in my fucking 30s and 40s, fucking around, where's little Joey? You know what I mean? It's like...
Getting into trouble then. So getting arrested, man. Getting arrested. Growing up with weed. In a whole other time, man. 70s with weed was like now with fentanyl, man. And I mean that with full seriousness. Granted, the lethality of weed.
But, okay, so I got busted in 73 because my buddy was an idiot, basically.
I can appreciate that.
He took a friend of ours back to college, dropped him off, drove back. He blew a couple of joints in the car. I wasn't smoking while I was driving. I aired the car out, but my buddy brought a fucking freezer bag. We had a full ounce of weed with him. He had about 20 packages of matches from the place where he worked, where he was a busboy. He had one of those grass mask things.
Yep.
And he's wearing a T-shirt that says "Prevent forest fires, eat your roaches." So it's 2 a.m. I'm on this sort of semi-back road in Michigan, and I blow through a yellow light, and it was around the corner from the sheriff's department. So there were 2 cops there just going on shift. They pull us over. My buddy, as they're pulling us over, he rolls down the window, throws the fucking freezer bag out the window. Now, mind you, the only lights were the police headlights on our fucking car. So there's no way they didn't see him throw that shit out the window.
Just asking for it.
So they dragged us to county and locked us up, and you got to make that phone call. And politically, it was different. I mean, weed was different. It was more of a revolutionary substance. Fentanyl's just to get fucked up.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying. It's a very different kind of world that we live in when it comes to marijuana.
And that's just it. That's what I was kind of implying, that it's like it in the 70s. I think of like a wild west in regards to law enforcement's actions towards drugs in general, right? And there was people thrown in jail for the possession of a joint. So
it's a seed.
A seed,
I mean,
right.
Ridiculous. I mean, the thing that always bothered me about the prohibition, you can't, people talk about it being immoral, this, that, and the other. What the fuck? You can't ascribe a morality to a plant.
Right.
You know, it's not like this. I mean, some people would argue that they're sentient. I don't really think that they're sentient. They do have reactions and shit, but you know what I mean. They're not like on a higher brain level like we are. But
No,
anyways,
I agree.
You know, it's a fucking. It's a, you know, in our book, um, there we documented the pharmaceutical companies that all use cannabis. Eli Lilly. I actually, you know what? I mean, Eli Lilly, Wyatt, Upjohn, they all used cannabis in their medicine. I mean, this is what you would find at a pharmacy.
Right. Right. That I
These
love
are
that. I
all
love that
cannabis
photo.
tinctures.
Now, hold on one second. I
Um,
love what you. I am unfamiliar with the names you just said. Who were those people?
Okay, so Upjohn Pharmaceuticals, Eli Lilly Pharmaceutical Companies. These are huge pharmaceutical companies. A lot of them have been merged into other companies and taken over. But they were like the big drug manufacturers. Upjohn. So like you got like this. You got, you know, you can see Upjohn Cannabis Tech.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay. That is a hold on. That is a beautiful book. What book is that?
oh, that's my book, bro. That's our Cannabis Annual 2022.
Oh, bro, that is absolutely gorgeous. I love what you did with that. Yes. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry my ignorance to that. You did a really good
That's
job
all
with that
good.
with that presentation. Those photos on there are A1 and
Well, those actually, I have to give props to the Cannabis Museum in Ohio. The guy Don Wertschaffer, he's actually a lawyer, and he scoured the planet, or at least this country, for cannabis medicine bottles. He would reach out to old pharmacies, go to antique stores, and he runs a little museum in the middle of fucking bumfuck Ohio.
wow. Wow, good for
And
you.
just documenting how much, you know, that people, it's sort of like the forgotten history of cannabis, you know.
I feel you though. Yep. And which is so important because I feel like we have already been through a world of evolution with cannabis where it's like it was
Yeah.
already used as a medicine. It was already used on a mass level too, where you found it in shops all over the country and all over Europe and Asia. But then all of a sudden it wiped out of existence and then had to come back again. So yeah, I love that. Can you explain what your book is about from kind of like the idea, the concept?
So the first book, which I don't have a copy of here, is it's called The Kitchen. That's where my Gnome Day weed, J Kitchen, right? That's where it comes from. Um, so the first book, my growing partner, Uncle Tweezy, and I, we had a place up in Harlem where we had a grow out, essentially. Not essentially, that's what the fuck it was. And we documented our grow over about 2 years. I took all the photographs. And we were doing hydro, deep water culture. We just kind of lost our minds and just went crazy experimenting. So I took pictures of 20 different strains from about 7 to 9 different breeders from Europe and North America. And then we were trying to work on a second one. Then the pandemic happened. And that was actually the last time I was in Vegas for the MJ BizCon where I saw you last month.
Yep. And that was great. I was glad that we could run into each other.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was fantastic.
It was awesome.
And you ran into all kinds of people, I saw.
You know, man, it's really funny. The first day I went there, I went to get my badge, and fucking Kyle Cushman and Matt
Yeah, I
Hammer
saw
were
that
there,
photo.
and, it was a lot of fun. But so the second book, the pandemic happened. Everybody's freaking out, and you were part of the YouTube purge because you came on my show in 2018 when YouTube pulled down dozens and dozens and dozens of channels. Some of them were restored. Ours was restored, but only to be pulled down, 6 months. No, not longer than that. Got pulled down like 2 years later when we were like 60K subscribers, right? But other people came back. Like you came back, but, what's his name? Crazy Dango, the Grow Table, whatever the fuck, they never came back. He never got his channel back.
No.
No. And that's why and that's why I don't really, during the pandemic, we were live streaming every single night, 7 days a week.
Right.
For about 2 years straight. And you showed up on a couple of the broadcasts, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I did. Yep.
And you know, we had a lot of people following us, and we were like, all right, you know what? We did the first book about the garden. Let's do the second one for the people, essentially. So we kind of broke it down. We've got pre-prohibition, so I've got the medical stuff that you saw, prohibition, and I have a friend of mine who runs a poster shop in New York, a movie poster shop, and he had all these anti-cannabis movie film posters and lobby cards that he let me use images of, so I can actually. And then, you know, we talked to some growers, and you know, let them do submissions. We paid people to do articles. There's actually a woman in she lives on Vancouver Island. So here we go. Marijuana.
Oh yes, yes, I've seen this one. Famous, love that.
Diablo. You know, so we had like our friends over at Sweet Seeds in Spain. They do automatics, so they gave us a whole lot of content to publish. So there's a lot of, I mean, it's a 400-page fucking book.
It is a beautiful book. I love it stacked, dude. You got
These are all canons of people we've met along the way. You can see Lorenzo is up there from Turp's Army. People who've been on the show with me. There's like, I don't know, fucking 20 pages of that sort of shit. So we figured, you know, for the fans. And it's, you know, we did it ourselves. It cost too much money. That's why I drive Uber now, to pay off my fucking debt.
I feel you. Well, where are you sell? You're selling it on the website?
You know, you can go directly to. I mean, you can go to Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
Type in Cannabis Annual 2022. If anybody's interested, they'll tell you it's out of stock. Order it, okay? Because it's a print on demand.
Oh, okay.
So you order it, they'll get it from the printing company. And I got to be honest, I can't remember the name of the printing company where you could order it directly. Or you can reach out to me. I still have a couple copies in my possession.
Okay, hell yeah. Well, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna order one. I'm gonna order one.
Cool. And we also have a paperback version, which is about half the size. We abridged it somewhat. So.
No, that's great, man. I love the idea of, you know, putting down on paper what we spent years kind of gathering in regards to our journey, the story, the plant, everything about it, and our touch.
Exactly. Well, it's like a compendium, you know. If you are into pot, I'm sure you've got more than one book about cannabis. Am I correct?
Me? I can't read, Jay.
Yeah. You can't read?
I'm pretty fucking stupid. Yeah. No.
Are you
no.
dyslexic?
No. I can read. Yeah, I can read. But yeah, no, a book, Jay. I love how much you afford me here in regards to. No, I don't have a single book.
Okay. So a lot of people who've been.
You don't. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. You don't mean like books that I own.
No, well, just like, you know.
Dude. Oh, I thought you meant.
Roosevelt's grow book, how to grow weed.
Yeah, I got that. I thought you meant like books that I wrote.
No.
Oh.
Are you stoned, man? What the fuck?
I'm gonna smoke right now. Yeah, I'm gonna. I was like, you got books? I'm like, dude, my friend wrote a book. I love him. He's like pretty much. Because he wrote it, I pretty much wrote it.
He wrote a couple.
I got it. I got his books right here. I need your books too. No, I will get it. Yeah, no, I do have books. Sorry, I've got a.
Yeah,
I do text.
So that's what I'm saying. So we know. So everybody who's in the weed, you know, who takes it more than just like a recreational fucking pre-roll at the shop to smoke on Friday fucking night with the boys, they collect fucking cannabis ephemera. You know, and
I feel you.
This book, we put a lot of stuff. We've got an article from Dank Duchess. You know, we've got all kinds of cool. We got all these very cool high-end dispensaries that popped up right after the beginnings of decrim legalization and that sort of thing. So there's some very cool interiors. And you know, I'm gonna brag a little bit, but I mean, Rosenthal, he fucking loves my books. He wishes he did a book like mine, but he's too cheap. So it's
shout out to Ed, man. I've met Ed too.
And
No, Ed's great. I mean, Ed is great. He's fucking smart as fuck.
yes, he
You
is.
don't. Sometimes you don't get it because he's old and he's a little bit stoned. You know what
That's
I mean?
it. That's it. Yep. Yep. No, I can appreciate
But,
that. No, I can appreciate that.
But he's very, he grew up in the South. He grew up in the Bronx, and I don't get. I don't know. I love Ed.
Good. Yeah,
His character.
I only had a moment. I kind of fanboyed over him a little bit. It was at MJ BizCon.
Oh, it's very common.
Yeah.
Very common, bro.
Dude.
He's used to it. He's
Yeah, I
used to
know
it.
he is. He handled it like a champion.
Best way
Now-
to talk to him. Best way to talk to him is to show him some bud that you grew, and say, "I got a joint of it. You want to go get high?"
He's all over that. Yeah, he was all over smoking weed. He was all over that. He's like,
And
dude.
I mean, I love smoking with Ed. I met him. So I went to the MJ BizCon in the first year. It was in Vegas. It was in the Rio Hotel, and I got.
It was in the
really
Rio?
sick. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It was small, bro. It was small. It was really fucking small.
No kidding.
Oh, if there were 50 exhibitors, I would be
Wow.
shocked.
Okay, so what year is this?
It had to be like 2013, maybe.
2013?
I think because
Okay,
I think
okay.
I think the second one was held here in Seattle right after it went legal in 2012 in Washington State.
Okay.
So around then.
Okay.
Around, I don't remember.
Okay.
But I was really sick. My Crohn's was fucking killing me, and they put me in a room at the way at the end of the hall. Anyways, I'm walking home after the day, and who's in front of me but Ed and Jane, his wife, Jane Klein, who's a really
Yeah,
cool person.
met her too. Yep. Yep.
So he like, well, come on in, let's get high. So, we're smoking weed, just hanging out. He's a normal human being. If you got the weed, really breaks down a lot of barriers between people.
You're right.
I mean, he's just in his own way, he's a superstar. And he's a fucking convicted felon behind weed. I mean, give the guy his props. A lot of people diss him, for whatever bullshit reasons, but very few people have struggled as much for cannabis for whatever motivation. But he was very, very politically active. So I got to give him respect.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. In my opinion, people of today aren't very appreciative of the people that really laid down everything so that guys like me could have parade online pretending to know how to grow.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
You're right. Yep, it is.
My friend Mara, and people who are watching who know me know Mara, because she's been on a couple of times. She always refers to people like, us as OGs, right? And I do get that kind of respect from some people, but you're right. And also the other thing, particularly you're in Canada, weed is legal everywhere in Canada. It's not legal everywhere in the United States.
Right.
Bless you. And people are still fucking incarcerated behind the plant. I mean, come on, man.
No, you're right. You're right.
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah,
I mean, if there's other circumstances behind it, you're shooting somebody up and you had a pound of weed in your bag, I get why they threw away the key, Oh, but if it's just fucking weed, even if it's selling fucking 50 pounds, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Dude, weed is legal throughout Canada, but it's not entirely legal. There's some countries.
Well, it's regulated.
There's some provinces that can grow their own, other provinces you can't. So it's like, yes.
But you have legal access
Yes.
to it in every province.
Yeah. Yep.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Here, it's not.
No, you're right. Well, I guess in fairness, with THCA or with the Farm Bill, it is kind of legal now across the country.
Well, yeah, but maybe it's because I am older. I don't really consider THC. THCA. I'm just not feeling it, bro. I've smoked it. But and particularly because I'm sick and I like to know what the fuck I'm smoking.
That's fair.
That's why I grow weed.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I started growing in the first place.
Of course.
And anything you can buy at a gas station, I'm skeptical of.
That's
Except
fair.
the coffee.
Yeah, dude. The only thing I can guarantee when I fly to America is the coffee at the gas station. That shit's so good. I know I'm gonna get a good cup of Joe if I'm going into a gas station. Guaranteed.
You're dissing Tim Hortons, man.
Yeah. Well, Tim Hortons ain't what she used to be, my friend. Ain't what she used to be. I'll tell you that right now.
Last time I was in Canada, I was in Van, and I for the Lift show like 2 years ago. In 2023, we went in January.
Oh, you did the
for
Lift show.
Yeah, well, I
haven't even
went
been to
and
a
I
Lift
also
show.
I hooked up with a college buddy of mine, but dude, I had fucking my prostate was just like fucking huge. I couldn't pee. I was in the hospital downtown van getting a fucking Foley catheter at 3 a.m. on Friday the 13th.
Oh,
It was
no
fucking
way.
horrible.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh yeah, we were actually going to go up for before Chinese New Year's, but that was vetoed by the other half. So we're going to go up at the van in February. So
Okay.
I have a sister who lives in Toronto. So
Toronto.
I spent a lot of time in Toronto with the kid.
Fuck. Well, like if you're ever coming to anything up here, you let me know. Like if an event or anything, because I honestly I haven't been to a single event up here ever. I've done not a
Really?
ton. Yeah, I've done. So I feel like at this point I've done a half a dozen events in the States, but nothing here. Nobody
Does
knows
Sarah
who I
Sunday
am in
still
Canada.
run her Karma Cup? Does
What's
Sarah
that?
Sunday still run the Karma Cup? Sarah Sunday? Does she still have the Karma Cup in Toronto?
Oh God! You know what, dude? I wish I knew, man. I honestly have no idea. I honestly have. It's somewhat embarrassing how little touch I have with my local audience, or not local audience. I don't have a fucking Canadian audience. 90% of my audience is from America. So that's who I kind of talk to, and when
I get it, bro.
I
get
talk
it. Well,
I talk a lot about.
I used to go to the what the fuck they were called? They were in Marco Renzo. I can't remember his last name. He produced these the Healing Yourself expos. The Healing Yourself, something like that, in Toronto.
Okay.
In like 2009, 2010, 11. And that's where you would go there, and all these fucking seed vendors were there, like from Europe and some cats from the States. And that's actually how I got my name. I had a video. This was before like smart fucking phones, right? I think this was in 2010 or 2011. So I have a video on a camera, some shit, an SD card, and I'm at the DNA Seeds booth. Small, like no bigger, 100 square foot maybe. And I'm showing them videos of my grow, which at the time was in a studio apartment in Chelsea in Manhattan. And most of it was a deep water culture system in the kitchen.
Okay.
So they saw the pots and they saw the stove, and I got J Kitchen. So here we
are. That's too funny. Can you explain to me how you had it growing in the kitchen? I'm sure the sink was involved.
For drainage, yeah, the sink was involved for sure. But it was kind of a sugar shack, this crib. It was a studio apartment in an old building in Manhattan, in Chelsea. I didn't pay much for it, and I could grow weed there, away from the family dwelling, and get up to other shenanigans as well. But that's a whole other story. So the DWC was in the kitchen because we had better ventilation there. Blah 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 blah. I can't even remember why, but
that's wicked.
That was fun.
So that's how J Kitchen began.
Yeah.
That's wicked, man. I can totally get down with that. It's unique too. It's unique, which is what I can appreciate.
Yeah, it's a problem with that first book that we did when we called it The Kitchen, because there's so many books with kitchen in the title. It just got fucking lost.
Of course. Well, hey, you learned something though. You went in.
Yeah.
You went in green and came out seasoned. Where did Uptown Grow Labs come from?
So I don't know if you're familiar with New York City at all, but there's
Nope.
uptown and downtown and various neighbors.
Okay, I know
neighborhoods
that.
in between.
Yep.
So I actually lived in Tribeca, way downtown, very shishi, la-di-da. But I had two apartments in Spanish Harlem, up on 120th Street and 3rd Avenue, in a brand new, like, semi-luxury building. It was like one of the first in the neighborhood. The real estate developers in Manhattan, they've got to move north because everything in the middle or south is really damn expensive.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of old buildings. There's a lot of single-family homes up north of 95th Street. It's much more, people fucking live there. It's a real living kind of community. Anyways, this building was like in the middle of the block that was kind of burned out. So I got these apartments. They weren't cheap, but they suited our purpose. They were really high up. They had really good ventilation, so nobody could smell the weed. Because we had
Perfect.
4 rooms. We had like 400 square feet of flower running, maybe more.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's uptown, and I don't remember how we came up with Grow Lab. We were probably stoned, hanging out, watching some kung fu movie or some shit.
That's where all great video or all great ideas come from, right?
Right.
Yep. Getting high, just shooting the shit, just trying to figure it out. What? So I got to admit, when I started doing YouTube, you were around doing YouTube as well. And it's like I used your videos and your grows as inspiration for my stuff. And this was back.
I appreciate that.
I love to be able to admit it. And this is back before there was any kind of collaboration in our space. You did kind of see a little, if you knew people, then there was a slight bit amount. But like I'm talking just YouTube content, weed creators. There was no real collaboration. So it's like.
No.
It felt as if we were isolated, and so I would look over at your house, over the fence, and look at your yard, and be like, "Wow, I love what he's got growing on over there." One thing in particular was your setups. You didn't just turn the camera on and go live. Now you did, but. You weren't doing it from the living room. You weren't doing it from your bedroom next to your dresser. You actually had a decent setup. And I respected the shit out of that, man, because you didn't see that very much. And right now, even your setup is beautiful.
People on their fucking beds, people on the bed smoking a fucking joint, bullshitting. That's what a lot of that was. I mean, keep it real. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or in your case, on the couch, but
Yeah.
I remember you being on the couch a lot.
It was a lazy.
From the neck down.
It was a chair. It was a lazy boy. Oh. Yeah, reclining chair. Yeah. From here down. Yeah.
Right. I love that shit, man. It's so fun. It was so funny. I really love it.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, well, because you want people to watch you. I have several disadvantages. I'm not a young, good-looking woman. Number one. I'm not even a young, good-looking man anymore.
Good-looking and man for sure. You're not that
my
old.
demos.
You're not.
Well, I'm everybody's fucking. I'm the weed uncle, right?
That's fair. Yep, that's fair. And that's a good thing to That's a good name to have.
It could be worse.
That's a good point. Yep, that's a good point. Yep.
It's like. So I just do it because I don't really make any money. I mean, we sell seeds. People are interested at UptownGrowLabSeeds.com. But, it's like, I kind of love it. It keeps me busy, especially the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, I mean, that was wild times.
Right.
It seemed like people forget how bananas it was.
It was unreal.
But thankfully, I didn't, if I lived in New York City, then I don't know if I would have survived mentally.
In which way? Just because of the nonsense of just putting up with the content.
No, it's just I'm immunocompromised because I've got Crohn's disease, so I'm immunocompromised. And I was wearing masks.
Oh, literally! I see what you're saying. Bullshit. Literally.
And and also the healthcare out here is good, but I'm getting off the cannabis train, so let's.
No, that's okay.
Back.
No, this is tea.
Get into that shit.
Nah, this is tea with P. I just like to go wherever the conversation goes. I actually very seldom.
I hear you.
I very seldom actually talk about weed, to be honest with you.
Well, the one rule we have on our live streams is that you can talk about just about anything but politics. I don't give a fuck about anything else.
That's funny. And on this show, all I do is talk politics.
Well, I find it be really fucking divisive. And
it can be.
Particularly in 2000, 2001.
That's fair.
Hold on a second. Really rough years down here.
2000, that's Bush and Obama? Oh, no, we're before that.
2000 was the end of Donald and the beginning of Joe.
And, no. In 2000, 2001, you're thinking 16.
2020. 2020.
Okay. Oh, okay. I
2020.
See. Okay. There we go.
My bad.
No, that's okay. Because
I'm one of these.
I'm pretty good with politics, so I was trying to pinpoint it.
I I had one of these shots.
Good.
So
Good.
it's 100. It's 100 milligrams of THC. This is the 4 ouncer, which is bigger than you. They have them as big as 12, but I'm actually trying to lose a little weight, so I don't want to drink too much sweet shit. So, but I had about half of it, so I had about 50 milligrams. I'm pretty fucking high, and I'm smoking a joint.
Good.
So.
No, you should be. No, and
Not-
you. One thing you just said is that you don't like to talk about politics, and then I just continued to ask you about politics. So, yeah, we don't need to get into that, anyways, because.
Well, no, because during 2020 and 2021, people are fucking. They were scared. They didn't know what the fuck was going on. There's all this bullshit everywhere. And I didn't want to bring that. People came to us to fucking get high, listen to tunes, and fucking chill.
You're right.
And I was fired by a number of viewers. I got angry emails from them because of perceptions, and it's nothing that I really did overtly, but I guess they didn't like what I was reposting on Twitter or some bullshit. So I'm like, yeah, I don't need this noise.
That's fair.
And that's why I'm on Discord. That's why I don't have a Discord anymore. We used to have a Discord, but things got fucking weird. And I didn't have time to fucking deal with it or energy. I'm too fucking old. You get to a certain age, you just say, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm already there, dude. I'm already there. Yeah, I'm already there. The thing is like
you're a cynical youngster, aren't you?
Yes. But I like to. My glass is always half full. I want you to know that. That's another thing. Is like I look at the world very positively. I believe in human beings because people will surprise you. But the thing is one thing you said is that politics is divisive, and you're not wrong. It is, and so that's kind of why it's like I like to talk about. I like to talk about these things because
those kind of conversations. To be honest, let me finish your thought.
All I was gonna say is politics surrounds us in every shape and form. You cannot avoid it. Regulates everything, and so. One thing that I've always believed is that if I want to be able to talk to the people that I love and who I adore, and
well, that's why you have such a loyal following, bro. Because you have a viewpoint and you express yourself, and I just didn't feel real comfortable with that for a lot of reasons.
That's fair. That's okay.
I've had a lot of drama in my life. And I don't need any more.
That's fair. No, it's fair. I get.
That's for sure.
I do get a lot of shit. Like I do get a lot of shit.
Yeah,
you get called out one way or the other. It's not even
hockey, right?
Of course, yeah, a little bit. But I'm a pussy. The thing though is that it's like, I just don't submit myself to it. It's like I'll listen to the people that want to have a constructive conversation, but the moment I see someone in the chat calling me a insert this expletive that I don't entertain it. I don't have time for it because it's forget about it.
All right, if you don't engage.
Yeah, I got a kid that loves me.
Those types of people, fine, it's
just... But I do love to talk for it. But anyways, let's move on. Because it is what it is. Because I can talk about it forever, as we've clearly just figured out.
So tell me, what's in your garden?
Man, right now I've got an absolute beautiful garden because I'm sure this is something you can relate with. I've actually this is the first garden I've run successfully in 2 years because I lost hope. I lost not hope, but passion. I didn't have time. Weed's cheap in Canada because it's pretty much legal and it's everywhere and you can get pretty good stuff. So it's like I just lost passion in it. And over the course of the last year, I was like, I wanted it back. So this is the garden where I literally spent hours retrofitting the space, trying to make it perfect, so I didn't have to have any variables.
It's fucking beautiful. What you showed me this afternoon is gorgeous, and it's multi-talent. I mean, you got 4 different sets in there. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. It's always a work in progress, but yeah, this is what I've been working on.
I try to do the same with my shit, but at this point, I'm just Mr. Minimal.
Oh man,
I can't lie. I do have 2 sets. I've got here, and I've got because I have a different channel now as well.
You have a couple.
Being persecuted. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say you have a couple channels. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. I have the what is it? Uptown Grow Labs J Kitchen is the main weed channel, and there's a backup to that which I honestly don't even know the fucking name of. And And then I've got so last year I got really sick from that prostate thing in fucking van. I had surgery later in the year, blah, 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 blah. Kind of pivoted and I started doing men's grooming because I grew up my beard. So I started doing fragrance reviews, beard product reviews, men's grooming shit.
Good for you.
Which has sort of morphed into more of a perfume and scent review thing. But I also do like obituaries of pop stars who died. That sort of, people who aren't generally
What?
known.
Dude, I had no idea you were doing this.
That's Jay Kitchen's Beard is that channel.
Oh, I think that's a genius idea. First of all, your beard is epic. I love the cut. I love the line, the color in it, the flow. The white is just majestic. So I think it's a great idea that you're doing a beard or men's grooming channel. So good for you. Well, I had no idea that you were branching out. I think that's brilliant.
Well, I've been doing it for literally about a year, and a terpene is a terpene. And if you look at the ingredients for a lot of these perfumes and colognes, it's linalool, alpha, beta, caryopylene, whatever the fuck. They use the same terps that are in weed. They're not exclusive to cannabis.
Right.
So
terpenes are everywhere.
Spelling test of that shit, So it's a transferable kind of skill, and I'm really close to being monetized. I'm about 850 subscribers in a year. So I'm really pushing it hard. I mean, I drop a video a day over there.
Oh, man, I'm so happy to hear that, man. Mrs. P, could you drop the link into it? Jay Kitchen Beards, is that what you said?
Yeah, Jay Kitchen's Beard.
Jay Kitchen's Beard? Yeah, I always tell some people who have got that creative, juice and who are in our space and they're trying to do their thing, and unfortunately YouTube and platforms in general just keep stifling us. You should branch out. You should try something different.
Hey everybody, it's JJ Jay's Beard.
Especially if you want to. If you don't give a fuck about the money, it doesn't fucking matter. But I would like to get paid for what I do. I mean, I love what I do. I love making videos. I love editing videos. I love smelling new fucking perfumes, man. I mean, it's like smoking a new joint, without getting fucked up.
Right.
And I would like to make some fucking coin. I don't want to be fucking, I need that. It's everybody's side hustle, right?
Yeah. No, I 100% agree.
The problem is you got a lot of younger, better looking people doing it who've been doing it longer. And, it's a funny sub niche. I mean,
you know what? You have the same problem that I have in regards to we've been in this way too long. And I'm talking I'm talking online content creation, because you've been in the weed game obviously way longer than me, but I'm just referring to YouTube and so on and so forth. I started blogging in 2014. That was my very first time I got into content creating, as I started writing blogs. And so we kind of made a name for ourselves before you got deleted. And I honestly believe that when we got deleted in 2018, we got blacklisted. And they wrote our name down, and essentially in the same way you get red flagged for a flight internationally, you, me, there's so many others that took that flack.
That disappeared.
And so many more that are gone. That's right. And I feel like because of that, it's been an uphill battle. For example, I cannot put any weed in my videos. If I put the slightest picture of bud, if I say weed, if I say seeds, cannabis, any of that, my video is age restricted. And when it's age restricted, I know it doesn't get sent out to you.
You got like more than 100. You got 100,000 plus subs, right?
Yeah, 109 I think I'm at now. But I look at channels that have less subscribers than me that can put out beautiful pictures of weed, glorious videos, up close shots of it. They can tell you the genetics. They can tell you where it came from. They can sweat and drool all over it. Those videos will get tens of thousands of views. and they are
it's a
not
rigged fucking
age
system, bro.
restricted. They're not
It's a
age
fucking
restricted.
rigged system.
It
It's
is a rigged system, but I don't know how. I know they're not paying anyone, so it's like, how the is this happening? You know what I mean? But I know you
think
suffer
because
from the same thing.
My theory is that there's so many multi-state operators in business that are making millions, who own these like chains of weed stores and weed grow ops throughout the legal states. You know, it's people really don't realize how much weed is being grown. It's fucking what?
It's a ton.
Well, I can get a $26 fucking quarter ounce at the store on, you know, a special day or whatever. It's they're influencing shit. It's money, bro. It's money.
It's always money.
As old school and as old fashioned, as cranky old man as that sounds, fucking true. All about the money.
It is true. It is true. But dude, I feel like I have this conversation so often with people, like especially like people that have been doing this for as long, that I feel like people, it's like barking up a tree. It's like nails on a chalkboard for the audience. They're like, okay, we get it now. Well, you know, right? But so it's like, that's where it's like, you just have to create. You just have to keep doing it. And I love, I love your shit, bro. I love your content. More importantly, I love your personality, and I love your reviews. Your honesty is you know, it's unexpected. People, you know, you don't get it. You just don't get it anymore, because the good guy gets thrown to the side in this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, they don't really give a fuck about what you're putting out. It's how you do it. You know, how well produced your videos. And I understand production values are very important.
It is. It is.
A lot of it, you know, I'm doing this all by myself. I don't have someone helping me. I mean, my wife could give two fucks about what I do.
That's fair.
In the week, you know, and I did have someone who was helping me, but he was not really. So most of the shit, and I'm not fucking inclined for electronics or computers or switchers or any of that shit. I mean, that is not my gig. I mean, I used to be a fucking lawyer way back in the day. So
and tell me, Jay, and tell me, because being a lawyer, I get that that's something that I've known about you for a while. But how? Because you've been using weed for a while. How was it to practice law and use weed at the same time? Because I'm assuming you weren't able to be so open and forthcoming about your usage then as you are now.
Most of the people that I hung out with the first couple of years in New York. Well, I shouldn't say that, you know. So I moved to New York City in the autumn of 1978, and I was already started growing when I lived in Boston before I moved to New York. And I was already starting to experiment with growing, and I had this grow book by Murphy Stevens. There's a little fucking handwritten fucking sketches about what to do with your plants and shit. So I was using that, and I had these two like 4-foot they were probably T5s, and they weren't grounded. So if you touched it wrong, you'd get a fucking shock. So I was growing some real horrific homegrown, and so I'm in this winter law school. It was a winter admission at my law school. So you started classes in January, but you got your indoctrination or introduction or whatever the fuck they call it, like in late December, early January. So anyways, you meet people, and you know, you have a way of finding fellow travelers. So I had people wanting to fucking buy weed from me. I was their fucking plug.
That's
in law school. It saved my ass because I'm really not that not a very good academic. I like to read a lot, but the law shit just kind of passed my brain by.
Dude, it's funny.
And all my buddies, all my stoner buddies, they were all the top 5% of the class. And I was the bottom 5%. So I benefited from their knowledge and their outlines tremendously. And they benefited from my cannabis.
It was a two-way system, baby.
Exactly.
Symbiotic.
And I'm still friends with them.
That's beautiful, brother. And what's crazy to me is like I actually, because I have a Bachelor of Arts degree. I majored in poli-sci. What did you major in before you went to school? Like, what did you do?
I actually have a degree in speech and communications.
Oh, good for you.
I went to Emerson College in Boston, and then I went to law school in New York to study communications law, and I ended up being a personal injury lawyer, and then an administrative law judge for the city of New York.
That's wicked. Dude, I'm telling you, you live in the life that I thought I was destined to take. I wanted to be a lawyer as well. I went to.
I don't necessarily recommend it as a career path. It can really burn you out.
Yeah, you know what? As I sit here now, because I graduated university in 11, so I probably would have been practicing and established or by 15 or so. But it's like I look at where I'm at now, and I am very thankful for the path that I took to get to where I am here. So, the problem is I couldn't. You had to write the law school, the LSAT.
No. So I graduated high school and college early. I finished college in
right.
January.
Of course you didn't.
So I took the LSATs that spring, and I did fucking miserably, bro. I didn't study. I just went in cold on a Saturday morning. I was probably still fucked up from the night before, and I took the test, and I bombed it. So I got the results, and I was like, oh, fuck. So I had to take it over again. So I spent. I think you have like Kaplan college prep classes where you live. It was a chain. Stanley Kaplan. They prepped you for entrance exams and all kinds of shit. So I wasn't working that summer. I was an usher at a theater, so I was only working at night when concerts would come to town. So I was in fucking Kaplan for 6 hours a day taking these practice exams, and I took the fucking exam and I fucking killed it. I got a really high score, and I got into a bunch of law school. But I didn't get. So I would have gone to law school like a year and 18 months almost after I graduated college, but they had this mid-year admission. So I had like a year break from academics.
Oh, good for you, man. Good for you. It goes to show that a stoner can be successful, whether or not he has to know the information or he finds a way to figure it out. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. No, I wrote the LSAT 3 times, and I failed it every single time.
So God was telling you something.
It was telling me something, man. And like I had graduated with honors, and we were talking politics. I graduated majoring in poli-sci, like political science, and I minored in philosophy. So put that together, and dude, I love to talk politics. You know, right. So yeah, I unfortunately graduated with honors, but I couldn't figure out the law school, the LSAT. So it was a good
I'm a
sign.
horrible test taker. It took me 3 times
here.
to pass the fucking bar.
Oh, good for you. 3 times ain't bad. I heard that's kind of average.
Well, it's better than John F. Kennedy Jr. May he rest in peace. I think he took it 4 times or something.
Whatever it was, I do know it was a lot. Yeah, I do know it was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a fucking lot. So I'm not a good test taker. I mean, that's really what it's all about. But I finally got it, and here we are, 40-some odd years later, shooting the shit, and smoking weed. Yeah, man.
Let's go. Did it. So, Jay, what do you have going in the garden right now? Anything?
Yeah, I've been running these seeds from this guy Todd McFarlane. Todd McCormick. I'm sorry.
Todd McCormick. Authentic Genetics.
Yeah, AG.
Yeah.
I'm running his. He had a special. He had some sour diesel crossed with the purest indica. So I'm running a bunch of those, and I'm also running the sweet skunk, but not. I only think I've got about 5 sweet skunk out of the 10 beans. We had some germination issues with those. But the sour diesel, and I have another 8 in solo cups waiting to get bigger. So they haven't gone into flower yet. They're well, I'll bring one out. Hang on a second.
Please do.
Don't go nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere, brother. I ain't going nowhere. I'm always looking. I'm always good. Insert English here while I smoke some weed. I'm always up for looking at good weed. That's what I'm really looking for. What do you see?
The earring popped out.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
This is a sour diesel.
Oh, that's the SD sour diesel, yeah.
Yeah, it's crossed with the purest indica.
Ah, she looks good. She looks really good. Thanks for the age restriction, by the way. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing with you. I don't care. No, it's beautiful. I particularly enjoy the color. She looks really nice and dark on that one.
Bro, they're using fucking AI because I'm getting like not strikes, but I'm getting some sort of restriction or some shit on like fucking live streams from like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, it's not unusual, dude. I had to delete all my videos. Like I only have videos from
Did you
like.
back them up somewhere?
Oh yeah, they're on my Patreon. Yeah, put them on my Patreon. I do have them. But I had to delete them all. I only have like 200 videos on YouTube now, or something, 250 or something. But I had like 700 or. So yeah, it's so frustrating. But I'm glad to see you're still growing.
Yeah, well, you know,
Grower for life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm getting up there, and I imagine probably the next dozen years for sure. For sure, depending on my living situation. But yeah, I had a stall, one stall in my garage I had enclosed, and it was a grow room. And I had 4 of those HLG, flat panels, like the 550s and the 650s running. And so I got really sick last year with my prostate bullshit, and my mobility was really challenged. And but once I got that taken care of in the spring, I grew a lot of outdoor weed. I grew a ton of plants because I wanted pictures. I wanted to take a lot of pictures and document a lot of different strains because I knew I don't know. Don't ask me why. But
That's fair. It's a passion, baby. It's a passion.
So then I started getting into the perfume bullshit, and I basically took down the grow lights. There's still a grow light in there, but I converted that grow room into a second studio. So, and what I did is I've got a couple bookshelves, and when we moved here from New York, we had a fucking shitload of stuff. And most of my books were in storage, so I took all my books out and put them in this. It's like a man cave. And I had it set up to be like a barber's chair, like, the barbershop.
Yeah.
The barbershop backdrop lost out to the bookshelves.
Oh.
Where I can stash all this shit.
Priorities.
Well, it's like my I guess you could say it's a man cave. I have my father's old fucking desk there.
Yeah.
It's a small room. It's like, I don't know, 13 by 9, some shit like that. It's pretty cool.
I 100% get it. Having a space where you can come, relax, feel some creative, something. I think it's so important, especially as a man,
Definitely.
Especially as a parent and adult. You got to get away. You got to separate yourself from
I think
life.
also, what you and I do in terms of content creation, I mean, it keeps our brains busy.
Oh gosh, it does. 100% it does.
Particularly interacting with people on the live streams and whatnot,
Yeah, and
it really grounds you in the community.
It does, and the thing is like, I feel like when you have a space like this, you're as much creative in what you're creating for a space as you are in what I'm doing. Yours has evolved over time. You find things that you love. You find things that you feel people will have a converse about. You feel something that just means something to you. Like the picture over your head on the TV here is a picture that someone painted for me, specifically for me. And it's like, that's the kind of shit that I just love and adore. And I want to look at that. Yeah, feel something. Yeah.
I mean, I'm very fucking blessed. I mean, I got basically 2 man caves here. So one of which it's by where I'm growing. I have a 3x3 where I'm vegging, and my 4x4 I'm vegging now, but it'll be a flowering tent. And I've just been running regs, so there'll be a number of males that'll get chopped.
I know that feeling.
That's
fair.
But the Todd McCormick weed has been good. I grew some of his OG Kush crossed with the Pierced Indica, and it's quite tasty, and has a nice fresh flavor.
I've grown his Northern Lights, his I think it was Northern Lights number 2, Skunk number 1.
Yeah, I bred out the skunk number 1.
I don't think anything else made it to the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear.
I'm picky. Nah, I'm just picky. I've got a very particular style, so if something doesn't, if something starts to grow a little outside of what I'm comfortable with, I just get rid of it.
It's done.
Yeah, it has to.
You have no sentimentality.
Nope. no time. I just don't have the. I garden much different than many other people. First of all, I get way more credit than I deserve. People think just because I make online content that I'm an expert and that I know what I'm talking about.
You're not.
And
what's up with that?
Yeah, I don't get it, and that's not couldn't be farther from the truth. I am the literal definition of someone who's trying to get through this using the least amount of effort possible. I love to garden. I do. I love to garden. I love weed more. But I love to garden. But the thing is like I love life even more. I love getting outside, spending time with my friends, spending time with my family, my wife, my son. And I don't like being bogged down in the garden. I don't like the plant that much. I'll be honest with you. Yes, I've made a career of it. Yes, I've built a community around it. But I need weed to survive. But I don't need weed to entertain me. So,
well,
that's kind of how I live, and that's the lifestyle I try to perpetuate. Is like you can grow some pretty fire fucking weed. You don't need to be a rocket scientist.
No.
You don't.
No.
You can grow pretty good weed with like almost no effort.
You grow great weed. Don't kid yourself.
Thank you.
You can grow a fire product. I mean, it's not rocket science.
It isn't.
I'm schooling a young woman in Cali in growing. She's just starting. I gave her some seeds for her birthday, and I ordered like $100 worth of like build a soil gear. So I hope it works out for her. She did a run. She didn't fuck it up. She got some crystally flowers, but they look kind of sick.
Damn. JJ, brother, I thank you so much for coming on, man. If anybody
pleasure, bro.
If anybody wanted to purchase your book, reach out to you in any way, where would they go to do such?
So people can reach me. My email is uptowngrowlab@gmail.com. The one website that's still running is uptowngrowlabseeds.com. The book, you can go on Amazon and type in Cannabis Annual 2022. It'll come up. It'll say out of stock, but then you order it and they'll get it for you, I believe. So, otherwise, yeah, man, thanks for having me. It's been a great time. I'm really fucking on.
Yeah, me too, man. It was my pleasure. JJ, as I said, I've been following you for a long time. It was it was kind of a sad moment to see the algorithm and the powers that be kind of take you down. But what I love to see is how resilient you've been. You built a website and a live streaming platform in response to being deleted. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean,
Uptown Grow Labs at live. What was it? If I'm not mistaken.
No, uptowngrowlab@gmail.com.
Yeah, that one. I remember that. But what was the one that you created?
uptowngrowlab.live.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Live. That was what. That's all it was. Okay. Yeah, I remember that one way back because I remember tuning into that.
Well, we had, at one point we had a fucking mobile app.
Yeah.
Live stream.
Yeah. I do
we
remember.
Had a lot of shit going on, but it was just we couldn't make any money. So it was like, I'm funding this fucking shit, and I'm not making any bread.
You can't. It's just doesn't work like that.
I got to think about myself and my family. You know what I mean?
Of course you do. That's preservation of mankind. No. I appreciate you for opening up with me, man. You're an absolute legend. It was an absolute pleasure to have this conversation with you. We'll have to do it again, and I can't wait to meet up at the next event.
God knows when that's going to be.
Lord
knows.
For
sure. Maybe Vegas this coming December. I already got a fucking email about it.
I know I'll be at the MJ BizCon. I know I'll be there. That's a given. Cool, brother. JJ Kitchen from Uptown Grow Labs. Thank you so much for being here. Have yourself a great night, man. Many pleasures. Blessings.
Cheers.
Peace, homie.
Good night, everybody.
Peace. Yo, absolutely wicked, man. Yo, huge shout out to JJ for coming on. That was pretty sweet, man. That was pretty sweet. He's a great dude, man. I'm telling you, as I mentioned to him, and I mentioned to you guys earlier, I'm a huge fan of his, and I love that he's still trying to do his thing. He's still putting out content. He's still growing great weed, and that's what I'm excited about. And his genetics are fire. So I'm only encouraging the best of the community to go and check him out and go and make a stink, because it's going to mean something. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in. With all episodes, I would like to give ourselves a shout out to somebody that deserves, because they're putting in that effort. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the community highlight.
Community highlights.
Boom. All right. So, I would like to give a huge shout out to tonight's community highlight, because I think it's important that as somebody who has a larger platform, that we give a shout out to someone who's grinding, who might be a little bit smaller, that means just as well, that has just as good as an intent, and someone who I think is putting on an extraordinary show that I think needs a look from you. So, tonight, I would like to highlight Ames High Cannabis. Ladies and gentlemen, not only was I on his show, I had the absolute pleasure of getting to meet him in Vegas, and absolutely cool dude, man. Absolutely cool dude. And it was a great opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with him. He recently had on Matt from Strange Show, and he's going to have on Jugs. It's a great show, great conversation. He's an incredible dude. I want you to go ahead and hit that follow button and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Am I subscribed, dear? Make sure I'm
Instagram, yes. Subscribe, no.
Boom, hit it, babe. Boom. Ames, you got the support of the flock, brother. I appreciate you. We'll throw a link in the chat so that we can get everybody to follow you over there on both Insties and on YouTube. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that was the community highlight. Dudes, as we come to the tail end of the show, that is the first episode of Tea with P in 2025. I have big things in store for all of the episodes coming up, and I cannot wait for you guys to see the guest lineup that we have, the promotional steps we're taking to show off the show and the guests. I can't wait for you guys to see the skits that I've created. I can't wait for you guys to just see the show that we're trying to create. We're trying to take the level of what it takes to do an online show and go to here. Okay? Because that's what we do. Been in this long enough now that if you don't set the pace, you're behind the pace. And I am the pace. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. It's an absolute pleasure. If you haven't already, I want you to follow over on Patreon, guys. I can't explain to you enough how important it is for me to explain to you how important your... Sorry, I insert words when I need to think, and that's what I did there. So I want to thank you guys for the community support. I can't explain how important it is. That's what I was trying to do. To me, that I have your support on Patreon. And huge shout out to a PNW Homegrown and AKG Organics. I had your name on the list, but I didn't upload the new list there, so it's the old one. Go to patreon.com/pigeons420, and you can have access to access to personal grow classes, access to your name on the screen when things come up, shout outs during the videos, and so much more, including old videos that I had to delete. So if that's something you guys are up for, check it out. I am a community built brand, community built channel. I don't have memberships, guys. Everybody else does, okay? I don't have access to monetization. I don't have access to all this stuff. So you can't do super chats like you do in everybody else's chat. You can't be a member like you can in everybody else's chat. You can't do that here, if you noticed, okay? I've been in this shit for over 10 years, and I can't do that. So the best way to support me is to either head over to Patreon, patreon.com/pigeons420, or head over to twitch.tv/pigeons420. You can come watch me live almost every single night and support the show. Want to give a huge shout out to Mrs. P, doing the P's and Q's as she throws up her hands. Woo! And as we exit, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a huge shout out to DJ Lewis Steele for putting on a live show for you and I. That beat is going to be coming right away. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. We won't be here next week. Little P has hockey. but I'll be here the week after with an incredible guest. Okay? It's a long time out, so I don't want to say who it is. So 2 weeks. No tea next week, but the week after. All right? Mrs. P, start that music. Let's, Oh, you muted me. Oh, no, yep, you got it. Let's start that music. Oh, she looks at me like, I know what I'm doing. Let's start that music. Ladies and gentlemen, it's T with P. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you in 2 weeks. Huge shout out to DJ Lewis Steele. See you guys. Peace! Go ahead. Hit us out. Hit us out.
Diamonds so earth, and I don't wanna take you traveling the world. I'm gonna love you, babe. Cross my heart and hope to die.